Today we're going to calculate tree heights out in the field, and in here we're going to go over how to do that. First up, we're going to talk about some of the things we need. We're going to need an Eslon tape. It's 50-meter tape. It's nice. It's easy to use in the field. We're going to need a clinometer. That takes our angles that we're going to need to calculate the tree heights. And then we're going to need just a calculator to do the calculations with. On this board over here, it's got our diagram of how to go about taking the measurements out in the field. First off, you're going to need somebody holding one end of the tape at DBH, which is 1.3 meters off the ground. Next up, another member of your team is going to walk the Eslon tape out until they can get an accurate sighting of the top of the tree. They'll take a bearing or take an angle to the top of the tree, and if it's less than 100%, they'll take the recording, the slope distance from the Eslon, and they'll record that. At that point, you're going to take an angle to the person at 1.3 on the tree to the DBH, and record that bottom angle as well. After you have those three measurements recorded, we'll go over to this board here, and I'll tell you how to calculate the tree heights. First up, we're going to have to calculate the horizontal distance. That's the number we're actually going to have to need to calculate the tree height. That's going to be, we're converting the slope distance, like an angled distance, to a flat distance, and that's what we're going to need for the tree height. To do that, you take the slope distance, and you times it by the cosine of the tan inverse of that bottom angle, and then that'll give you an HD, and that's what we're going to use from here on out. The angle that we're going to need to calculate the tree height is we're going to take that top angle, and we're going to minus the bottom angle from it. Sometimes the bottom angle will be a negative, sometimes it will be a positive, sometimes you're looking down on the tree, sometimes you're looking up on the bottom of the tree, so that can vary, but every time it's top angle minus bottom angle. Next, we're going to take that angle that we've come up in step 2 here, and we're going to multiply that by the horizontal distance. And that will give us a number, and we're almost there. So after that, we just add 1.3 meters, that adjustment, because that's where we're taking that extra little bit of that tree, where we held the Eslon tape at DBH. So from here on out, I think we're going to take it outside and show you an example of this.
Everyone, and welcome back to learning how to measure tree height. So, to start out with, we have our Eslon tape at our 1.3 meters in DBH. So we're going to start walking out until we either see the top of our tree crown or until we hit below 100% with our clinometer. So if we start walking, we'll just walk until we hit a good spot. So let's take stop about here. So I can't really quite see the top, so if I were to measure to the top angle, we get a really skewed answer. So let's continue walking. Okay, so I can see the top of the tree here, so let's take a quick reading. So I'm getting about 110%. It's a little high, so I think we should continue walking until we get a bit lower. Then we'll have a bit more accuracy in our measuring. So, take a reading here again. And we're getting about 71% to the tree crown, so that's perfect. Let's just take a quick reading of our slope distance. So, from here we have about 22 meters. And now all we have to do is measure the angle to our DBH. So for that, we're getting about negative 3%. Show you our calculations on how we got the tree height. So we measured out 22 meters in slope distance and had an angle of negative 3% to our DBH. So if we throw that in the formula, we came out with 21.99 meters for our horizontal distance. Next, we measured the top angle and the bottom angle of the tree and minus those two. So we had negative 71% minus negative 3%. So that gave us 74% total. We had to times our HG by that percentage that we got from our trees. So that's 21.99 times 0.74%, and that gave us 16.27 meters. Then to finish off, all we had to do was add on our DBH, so that's 1.3 meters plus the 16.27, which gave us 17.6 meters for our final tree height.